That is all right. Oh, good. Thank you, Grump. And I don't even I don't have to put my headphones on, right? Thank you, Jesus. Zay be like, yo, Tiff, put them headphones on. All right, hold on 1 second. We just gonna wait for everybody to jump on. I'm waiting for everybody. Okay, wait, A Squad Rebel Radio. Let me go ahead. Hey, Minister Lewis, good to see you. How are you doing? Good to see you tonight. I'm getting ready to get started, and I am excited. I got a whole lot of stuff going on today, and as usual, I got like stuff everywhere. It's like, can I just come here, get settled one day, and not have a bunch of everything going on? Let's see. Hey, tall guy, how are you? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. You know I get excited about Thursday. Thursday's my favorite day of the week. Okay, hold on. Let me get ready. Get ready. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hey, Sister Annette. How are you with your sweet self? All right, share. Hey, Joe. How are you? How are you, Joe? Mighty Santiago. Howard. You know I love saying your name. I love saying your name. We're about to get started in 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, and we're just going to get started. And my guy Grump is in the back doing what he does best. And we're going to get started. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hey, it's Thursday. How are you guys? Welcome to another night of the Making Me Matter radio show. You know how we normally get started. So we normally get started every Thursday night trying to figure out where everybody is at. I know I can't find out where you all are at the same time. Sometimes you guys have to come back and let me know later on. By the time I realized where you said that you were at, it's almost the end of the show, and I am so sorry. You know, Facebook does what it does best. Anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for joining. I want you guys to do me a big favor. Tell a friend, tag a friend, and text a friend, and let them know the Making Me Matter radio show is finally on the air. It's 6:30. It's Thursday. It's been a long week. Am I the only one that has had a long week? Have you guys had a long week? What was your week like? My week has been long. It's been good, but it's been long. And so, I definitely want to see how you guys are doing. I have so much to tell you, so much to talk about. But in the meantime, how was your weekend? How was your week last week? Did you guys do anything special? What was your weekend like? What was your week like? Have you been having a good week? Is it a crazy week? Is it a tiring week? What's it been like? What's been going on with y'all? What has been going on with y'all? I've been doing some running around trying to get some things taken care of. And, of course, with work and family and just life, it is what it is. And so let me know where you are. I want to know where you guys are right now. You know, it's your girl. So it's your girl Tiffany Renee. She's here to join you guys for the rest of the night. Hey Lloyd. Hey Issa. Hey Sister Paula. It's good to see you. So you guys tell me where you are. What are you guys doing right now? Holla at your girl. Let me know what's good. Let me know what city. Let me know what you did for this week, what you got going on next week, what you guys have going on, meaning going on from this weekend to next week, what you guys have going on. Let me know what's good. Holla at your girl. Let me know what's good. In the meantime, You guys keep this number, 973-873-4983, 973-873-4983. Anytime during the show, if there's something that you want to say, if there's something that you want to touch on, if you want to give me a call, by all means, holla at your girl. 973-873-4983. Oh, you waiting on the PATH train in the city? How cold is it? Oh my gosh. How cold is it? Good Lord. That's another thing. It was so cold, I don't even know what to do. It's almost like you want to go outside and just not inhale. I'm so serious, like your lungs might just freeze up. Hey, Jay. Okay, Sister Angie said, happy. Oh, yes. Look at my Angie in the house. You the one that's in the house. I'm so glad to see you on here. So glad to see you on here. So y'all look at 10 degrees. That's a hot mess. First of all, where is everybody at? What's the temperature where y'all are? What is the temperature where you guys are? Because one thing I know is I could have sworn I woke up and it said 2 degrees this morning when I woke up. 2 degrees. Where did they do that at? I know it's January, but 2 degrees? That's crazy. Star said, I'm home. It's too cold. How about I am not even mad at you? I'm like, so listen, speaking of the cold, right? I want to read something to you guys. Speaking of the cold, somebody in Chicago, first of all, so far, I don't know if you guys have heard, 15 people so far have died because of this cold weather. 15 people have died, and I'm not trying to, that's heartbreaking. When one dies, it's heartbreaking. But you have a total of 15 people that have died because of this cold weather. It's something how the state, there's been announcements about what the weather was going to be like, and how I don't want to say people weren't prepared, how the state wasn't prepared. I don't want to say that. But at the end of the day, what happened? What could have been different to let me see, share password. What could have been different to go ahead and, I'm sorry, y'all, my screen froze. What could have been different to go ahead where these people their lives could have possibly been saved? Thank you, Ev. Yeah, trying to be grown just for the second. What could have been different to save these 15 people? Someone might say, well, 15 people is not a lot. It could have been more. One person is a lot. 15 people, these are 15 lives. This is somebody's son, somebody's daughter. At the end of the day, it's a lot. This is a lot. So, but here's the good news about it. I don't know if you guys heard. Someone in Chicago, okay, here's what I read. Yes, one is too many. Here's what I read. A Salvation Army was prepared to welcome approximately 70 individuals who were affected by an explosion, which was not permissible for them to allow the 70 people to come and stay in the Salvation Army. So one Good Samaritan put 70 people in a hotel. Can you imagine? That's what I'm talking about. You put 70 people in a hotel. Thank you, Dr. Carla. I appreciate you. Thank you. 70 people, one person. So here's my question. If one person can put 70 people in a hotel, what more? You guys know, if I would have seen something like this, if somebody would have said that they needed a place, I would have been posting all over Facebook. Who has room to spare for one night or 2 nights? Good Lord. 70 people, to God be the glory, were put from being on the streets into a suite. When I tell you that's a beautiful thing, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Hey, Alvin, you're in Detroit? Well, thank you for joining. It's nice to see you on here. Thank you so much for joining. So, hey, Willie and Auntie Nay, thank you guys so much for joining. What is the temperature right now, Willie, in Dallas? Auntie Nay, what's the temperature in Maryland? See, you guys coming from all these different states. We got Detroit in here. I know Detroit has got to be like straight brick right now. He said, and it is cold here in Detroit. I am sure it is, buddy. I am sure it is. So, thank God for that one Good Samaritan that was able to put 70 people, 70 homeless people up in a hotel. I want to really thank God for that. Really want to thank God for that person. So, here's another thing. Who has an iPhone? I need to know who has an iPhone. I do. Anybody else have an iPhone? Who has an iPhone? Who has a 15 degrees? That don't make no sense. 15 degrees. Who has an iPhone? If anybody loves anything like me, I love iPhone. I actually had an Android for a long time, to the point where I said I will never switch from an Android and ever go to an iPhone. But I did. And I'm going to be honest with you. Ever since I switched over to iPhone, I love it. I absolutely love it. What I didn't like, I know you guys heard about that iPhone glitch. Okay, that iPhone glitch where if you tried to FaceTime somebody and then next thing you know, I'm not going to go into how to do it, but at the end of the day, you could eavesdrop on somebody's phone with the iPhone just by going through FaceTime. When I saw that, I said, oh God. I said, well, I'm so grateful that I am not doing anything wrong. Y'all wasn't going to post stuff about me on Facebook. Yes, Lord. But check this out. So I had no idea that when the glitch happened, that a 14-year-old was really the one who found out who really discovered the bug. So check this out, right? 14-year-old Grant Thompson was just trying to play video games with friends on a day off from school when he made an alarming discovery, a bug in Apple's FaceTime that could turn iPhones into eavesdropping devices. But here's what happened. 9 days between, check this out, this is how much time has lapsed. 9 days, right? 9 days in between the discovery of when Grant found the bug and Apple publicly addressing it. Grant's mom said she tried everything she could to think of to get Apple's attention. She emailed, called, tweeted, and she tweeted the CEO and even faxed a letter on her, she's a lawyer, on her law firm's letterhead. She said she posted the issue on Twitter and said, my teen found a major security flaw in Apple's new iOS phone. He can listen into your iPhone and iPad without your approval, and I have videos. Submitted bug report to Apple support, waiting to hear back to provide details. Hell, she said scary stuff. You know what's even scarier? That this thing has lapsed 9 days. How do you sit up there and someone cries out and tells you what the issue is, and nothing is done for 9 days? And I heard this morning, I don't know if you guys heard it, I heard this morning on, I forgot what station it was, what's the word? Somebody who had a lawyer, somebody had an iPhone that was a lawyer, and in the midst of a deposition, okay, something took place where it was being heard and somebody heard the entire thing. I said, oh, and guess what? Apple is being sued. A lot of people gonna end up suing Apple. Oh, Camille, hey girl, where you been? Thank you. Grumpy. Camille said, come on, look. Thank you so much. Thank you, sis. I miss seeing you up here. Where you been? Okay, so here's my other thing. I'm going to keep going about this. I got to give you guys this news real quick. What is really the hype about alkaline water? Can someone learn me? Can someone educate me? I don't know if I'm being misinformed, miseducated. Help me get this thing together. Okay, so I found out today that alkaline water is really not all that it's supposed to be, or that we're making it be. They're saying that this is pretty much like a hype. Have you guys heard that? Is alkaline water really not the big kahuna? So they're saying, check this out, right? This is what CNN says. Everyone knows that drinking water is good for you, but could there be a way to make it even better? Alkaline water has been praised by celebrities such as Beyonce and Miranda Kerr. It's claimed to have a multitude of health benefits, including weight loss, clear skin, and even fighting cancer. If things are alkaline, then that helps to decrease the acid in your bloodstream, and that's associated theoretically with certain health benefits. This is what I'm reading, right? Said Lisa Dreyer, a registered dietitian and CNN contributor. So it says, so what is alkaline water? And is it really better than boring water that we've been drinking all day long? Alkaline water is water that has a higher pH level, yada, 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 than tap water. So here's my thing. Help me understand why, if alkaline water is good for you, the question is alkaline water good for you? And you know what the first response is? That's still being decided. Listen, I'm refused to spend another $5 on a bottled water that y'all still trying to decide on if it's really as healthy as it should be. So I'm confused. Okay, Tall Guy said no. Oh, he said not true. It's better than regular water. Well, one thing I can say is it definitely tastes better than regular water. I get that. But the health benefits, they're saying that they're now undecided. Hey, Stormy Norm, good to see you. How are you? Okay, so a final story that I wanted to talk about real quick, and then I'm going to jump into tonight's segment. Who on here, did you guys get a chance to watch the 3 Identical Strangers? Oh my gosh. That thing was absolutely heartbreaking. And CNN, according to CNN, actually, it was the most watched CNN film premiere ever. If you guys have not gotten a chance to watch 3 Identical Strangers, please watch it. It is good. It's funny. And heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because I'm not going to tell you why. But you have these triplets that had no idea that they were triplets. And so one walked into a college and was approached by someone, a friend of his, well, a friend of the brothers, and said, "Hey, what's going on, so-and-so?" And then he said, "No, I'm not that one. My name is Eddie." And he was like, "No. Hey, Ray Grady, good to see you. How are you doing? Man, it's been a long time. How you doing? Hey, Lori and Damaris." So, anywho, come to find out, he was like, "Yo, you got to be a twin. Something's going on." Find out that they're triplets. But here's the trip part. They didn't know that they were triplets. They all were adopted from the same adoption agency. Oh my gosh, Lori, it was heartbreaking. When I tell you at the end, my aunt and I pretty much almost cried, because help me understand how this country, where people are that, I don't want to say greedy, but how do you sit up there and play with people's lives? These kids were separated at birth for the purpose of being an experiment. I was blown away. They were separated at birth. None of them, even the parents had no idea that their child was a triplet. So they had people coming to see how they were, yada yada yada, coming to the house on the regular, and they were coming by to evaluate so-called how they parent, not realizing they were being watched and used as an experiment. When I tell you this world is sick, you have nothing else better to do than to separate brothers. And I'm just gonna put it out there, one of the brothers, because of the stress behind all of this, went into, was it manic depression, Lori? I think they said he went into this big time depression and he ended up committing suicide. So I'm going to be honest with you, when I found out that he died, then when I found out that he committed suicide, I said to my aunt, I wonder if God is going to hold those people accountable that wanted to play around with the lives of these triplets and the lives of these families, because this young man couldn't take it. He didn't find out that he was a triplet. They didn't find out they were triplets until he was 19 years old. You're almost into your adulthood, and then you find out that you are a triplet and no one tells you anything. They found their mother. The mother said that she gave them up for adoption because she couldn't afford to take care of them. Not even mad at that. I actually respect that. But when you sit up there, deliberately separate these 3 or any child, and it happens to twins. At the end, they show that it happens to twins all the time. How do you sit up there and treat these human beings as if they're an experiment? It just hurt me to the core. My aunt and I just cried, like literally just started tearing up. And I said, it's sad, it's sick, it's demented, and I wonder if God is going to hold those researchers and those who were experimenting accountable for the man that ended up committing suicide and killing himself. So anywho, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to give you guys your own hand clap. And so we went ahead and did the news. If you guys have your own business, brand, product, music, I don't care what it is. If it's health and beauty, it could be books, whatever it is. If you have your own business and you would like to advertise with the Making Me Matter radio show, go ahead and shoot me an inbox. Inbox me. Let me know how we can go ahead and advertise your business on the Making Me Matter radio show. Big shout out. Big shout out to one of our sponsors, iGeek, which is located in Elizabeth, New Jersey. They fix screens. They fixed my screen. Not only did they fix my screen, they gave me a super dope case. Y'all know I like bling. I promise you, I am bling all day. I got my case from there. I got my phone fixed from there. And the original place that I normally go to get my phone fixed was going to charge me $20 more. So if you get a chance, stop by 206 2nd Street in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Ask for Eddie. Tell him the Make Me Mad radio show sent you there. Go ahead and check out iGeek. Get your screens fixed for your phone, your iPad, your tablet, whatever it is. Eddie will help you out. Big shout out to Eddie. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So between advertising, Eddie will be able to help you. Eddie is one of our newest sponsors and advertisers. My book, if you have not ordered a copy of my book, by all means, let me know. Inbox me. The name of my book is called The Unknown Journey to Joy, How to Transition from Mourning, MOURNING, to Mourning, MORNING. I would love for you guys to get your copy. If you have not had a chance to, anyone who decides to, and I do this all the time, you guys know I like giving away stuff. So if you order a copy of my book, you will get a free pen. Otherwise, the pens individually are $1.50. Why? Because they have a stylus and it's soft and it's sweet. Okay, so that's that. And if you get a chance to, make sure you guys go to www. Auntie, I thought I sent you a book. I didn't send you one? I'm going to send you one. Make sure you guys go to www.makingmematter.com. I don't care what state you're in, Auntie. I don't care what state you're in. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care what the situation is, whether you're married, single, divorced, widow, dating. Go ahead and enter to win. Go to the website, enter in for our Valentine's Day giveaway. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. I'm giving away some gifts on Valentine's Day. So if you're single, married, widow, divorced, if you're dating, go ahead and feel free to enter to win. Why not? What do you have to lose? You're getting free stuff. Speaking of Valentine's Day, February 14th is Valentine's Day, right? If you can, I am looking for one married couple, a single person who's dating. Meaning, when I say single and dating, that means single because you're not married. So a single person that's dating, somebody who is single and not dating, someone who's divorced and widowed. If you would like to join me here at the Making Me Mad radio show, I would love to have you on because we're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about being lost in losing yourself in love. Losing, I think, what is it? Lost in love and yourself. I think that's what I called it. I can't even remember right now. My mind is in a billion places. Lord forgive me. But I want to make sure that I have those type of people part of the show. So if you are married and if you married and want to join me on the show on February 14th, by all means, let me know. Inbox me. If you are single and you're dating someone, inbox me. If you're single and not dating, inbox me. If you're divorced, if you're widowed, inbox me. If you want to join me on the Make Me Matter radio show, I would love to go ahead and hit you up with coming on and making you guys be a part of the show. Angie, I'm gonna give you all the details. Hey Reese, I see you. And so I would love for you guys to inbox me. I would love to have you here in the studio with me. It would be so much fun. So that's that. And that's it. Okay, so on to the next one. So y'all ready for the night? I want to give a big shout out. I don't know if you guys see her on here. You guys see where it says Angela Vett? That's my girl. Big shout out to Angie. Angie, big shout out to you because you're the reason why I'm doing this topic. And here's the number. If you guys want, I'm going to put the number up on my Facebook page. It's 973-873-4983. 973-873-4983. If you want to call in and tune in, if you want to call in and be a part of the discussion, by all means, give me a call. So I don't know if you guys have ever had an issue with caretaking. Do we have any caretakers on here? Oh, Denise, I would love to make sure that you get the book. Go ahead, Sweet Pea, and inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to tell you. The book is $20, and because you're getting the book, you get a free pen, and I will ship it out to you this weekend. Thank you, Angie. Angie, you messing up. You done invited 59 people. You know what? I'm doing giveaways. I'm going to give you something now. Just because you did that, I have a gray wallet for you. Just that quick. Y'all know I'm random. I'll start giving away stuff real quick. Faster than a New York minute. Bryn, it's good to see you. Bella, sis, my prayers are with you. My heart goes out to you, and I pray for you on the regular. pray for you on the regular. To those who are joining in, the names are scrolling, and I'm so sorry that I can't give you a shout out right now, but I promise you I'll do my best to. Yes, okay. So Evie, you're a caretaker. Brenda was a caretaker. Guess what? At one point I was. When I was married, when I was married, a lot of you guys have no idea because a lot of you don't know who I am. I was married. My husband passed away in 2009. Sister Natalie, I see you. Thank you for joining. My husband passed away in 2009 of a heart attack. Prior to him passing, we became somewhat caretakers of my late father-in-law. So what ended up happening was one day we get a phone call from the police department around 2:30 in the morning. Mind you, we lived at the time 2.5 hours away from where my late father-in-law lived. And we get a call from the police department saying that he was driving down a one-way street and he didn't know where he was. They found his number. They found my late husband's number in I think in his cell phone. I can't remember. I think it was in his cell phone. But at the end of the day, it was the scariest thing. Not going to go into some other details, but let's just say, can we just keep it borderline real? I won't put people on blast tonight, I promise. Jesus, be a fence around my mouth tonight when I think about this all over again. Hey, Sister Barbara, good to see you. You know, I love me some you. Good to see you, Sister Barbara. Yeah, when let's just say sometimes when y'all are doing things, you find out the motives behind why people do what they do and why they don't do what they do. And I don't care if it's family or not. You find out the real truth and reason why people want their hands in something and why they don't, even if it is family. So when I tell you, I really believe that when Dwayne's heart, that was my late husband's name, Dwayne. It's just annoying to keep saying late husband over and over again. So you guys, his name was Dwayne. Dwayne's heart was amazing. He had such a good heart. He loved his dad. His dad was his buddy. His dad was like 80 something years old. And Mr. Sterling, who I used to call Big Daddy, and he used to call me Little Bit, he didn't want to leave his home. And I'm just giving you a background. He didn't want to leave his home. That's the home where he had where his wife was, where he raised his kids. And as a man, it does something to a man when he feels like he's being stripped from the very well thing that he has known and took care of and paid. And it's something when a man feels like he's being stripped, he feels like he's being violated. So yes, Will, you know he was the best. He was. And so he was just a sweet guy. And he loved his dad. When this situation took place, we had Mr. Sterling evaluated to come to find out that he had dementia transitioning into Alzheimer's. And Reese, you about to touch something. That power of attorney thing, that's something, and that's important. We'll probably have to do a part 2. And so what ended up happening, Dwayne said, now mind you, we just got married. Dwayne and I just got married in 2007. In 2008, all of this happened with his dad, and in 2009, Dwayne passed away. It was just one thing after the other. But when I tell you, God is still amazing. He is just amazing, because here's what happened. We had Mr. Sterling evaluated. Come to find out, he had dementia. He had dementia leading into Alzheimer's. With that being said, Dwayne said, how am I going to take care of you and take care of my dad as well? Now, the one thing that and my girlfriend, my best friend on here, Willie, will tell you, I'm very private when it comes to, as public as I am, My business and my relationship and my house, that's a whole level of privacy right there. I'm very private when it comes to what I choose to give out when it comes to relationships, what takes place behind my closed doors. My job as the wife, being that my husband was the head, I felt it was my responsibility to go ahead and be the backbone that he needed, because when you think about it, a head can't turn, can't do anything unless it has the correct alignment of that spine. Otherwise, it's going to throw the whole body off, and I'm just going to leave it there, because I promise you I'll start getting happy real quick. So at the end of the day, when he said that, I said, well, dang, I don't know what to tell him. What do I do? But at the end of the day, I said, this is my husband. Tiff, you used to ride out when y'all was just boyfriend and girlfriend. What you gonna do? You ain't gotta figure out nothing. You already know what to do. I said, Dwayne, you do what you gotta do to make sure your daddy lives. What do you need to do? He said, well, daddy won't leave the house. I want him here with me, but he don't want to leave. I said, then don't make him leave. If he doesn't want to leave, don't force him to leave, because then he'll be miserable. But just try to transition him into coming this way so we could care for him the right way. So you know what ended up happening? Dwayne ended up moving out. Nobody, I think only Willie, knew Dwayne moved out of the house for 3-4 months. Dwayne moved out of the house so that he could take care of his father. Listen, that's what I told him. I said, you do what you got to do to make sure your father lives. I'd want my husband to say that to me. As close as I am with my dad, God forbid something like that happened to my parents, I'd want someone to say, baby, what do we need to do to make sure they live? So I said, you do what you got to do. And I said, I'm a big girl. If I need something, I'll let you know. We got this. Nobody needs to know what goes behind closed doors. And at that time, Dwayne lost his job. Okay? So it was interesting, because he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to take care of you and my dad? And I said, what I'm not going to do, is have you choose me between me and your father. Do what you got to do to make sure your father lives. I'll get a part-time job so you don't have to worry about the money that's going to be coming in, or if I'm going to have money, if we're going to have money. Don't worry. We got this. And so he did. Dwayne packed up. He moved out and moved 2.5 hours away to live with his dad. Every Friday night, every Friday after work, I would go drive like 45 minutes home, pick up my 85-pound dog of a headache, Chaco, who was a lab and shepherd mix, would pick Chaco up, drive 2.5 hours south to Temple, Texas. Moment I got in the house where Dwayne was, I would get into my late father-in-law's house, and Dwayne would be passed out. I would start cleaning up, start doing things to freshen up the place so that he could wake up to a nice, clean, smelling house. I would get breakfast in the morning, cook dinner at night, let Dwayne stay in the house and watch the dad, and I'd run around and do the shopping. And then on Monday mornings, I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, drive that 2.5 hours back to get back to Dallas to go ahead and get ready for work. And I did that every week. Do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. Did I get tired? Realistically, of course. I'm human. I was exhausted. But at the end of the day, when you love unconditionally, it's something, and I wrote about this in my book. There's a chapter called The Grace to Keep Going. God will give you the grace to keep going. Oh, God. Even when you want to stop. It's something about when you love somebody, and when it's something about when you just want to do right by a person, how you just can't stop. It's almost like the daggone Energizer Bunny. You just keep going and going and going, because even though sometimes, you know how some people say, I don't have the strength to go on? Let me tell you something. You won't even have the strength to give up and stop. It takes strength to stop doing stuff like that. As much as it seems like it's hard and it's tiring. Yes, it is. But something in you, God will give you the grace to keep going when it seems like you cannot go on anymore. I promise you that. It's not easy. It's not easy, but God's got you. God's got this. I've watched my girlfriend Evelyn. She's on here now. She takes care of her mother, and I watch how she goes back and forth. This is the one. Matter of fact, big shout out to her. Evelyn Ferguson was the one who the Making Me Matter radio show, who we blessed last week with all that food because she was affected by the government shutdown. This is somebody who walks to her mother facility, brings her mother food, makes sure that her mother's room is clean, cleans her mother up. I mean, you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. But here's my question: who's gonna do something for the people that's doing? That's just real talk. Who's going to do something for those who are doing? And I think we need to be mindful. So I wanted to talk tonight about how, two things. Don't give up doing what you do because it's the right thing. When you honor your parents, God will honor you. I don't care how old they are. God will step in and will just honor you and bless you in the long run. My mother did it. Is there anybody else out here who knows what it's like to be a caretaker, who knows what it's like to stop everything? Because the truth of the matter is, when you have to care for somebody else, everything in your life stops. And you don't have time really to try to figure out anything. It's just like, all right, what do I need to do? What do we need to do? Let's pick this thing up. What needs to happen? Where do I need to start? We ain't got time to do all of this. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that's you. I don't know if that's happened to you. I am that chick. Something's wrong. We ain't got time to think. Let's move. I like to move quick. Has that been your situation? It looks like a couple of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. A few of you, Angie, Natalie, Evelyn, my auntie Nadine, you guys know, Roxanne, Dwayne, good to see you on here, tall guy. Yes, that is your name. So do you guys know what it's like? Chantel, I mean, Reese, I know you got to know because you were a caretaker, you sat for your grandmother. Listen, Nat, here it is. You don't even have to be a caretaker for the elderly. You said, I feel like that having 5 children, 4 under 5. It's a lot of work. But my thing is, hello, do you see me? Who's going to cater to me? Who's going to help me? After you do all of that, you get exhausted. And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Help me, Holy Ghost, as I say that. Be careful about the whole woe is me at times, because when you do that, your spirit is open to allow the enemy to come in, and then you have the right and the wrong person, what seems like the right sound, but it's the wrong voice whispering in your ear, telling you stuff. And next thing you know, you be taken out, or you'll be tempted to do stuff you ain't got no business doing. It happens. Let's just deal with the reality, man. It just happens. Being a caretaker or a caregiver is not an easy thing. But my thing is, somebody's got to do something for the ones that's doing the caring. You can't do it all. My aunt just told me something this weekend about something that the family is dealing with. And she just said, moms, because she called me mom. She said, moms, you can't do it all. Anyone who knows me knows when I give myself, I give 150% until I exhaust myself. And I had to come to a place where I said, I cannot genuinely do it all. Hey, Donna, good to see you on here. We can't do it all. So I wanted to just give out a couple of things and talk to you guys. So this is what I found on Family Caregiver Alliance website, and it says the National Center on Caregiving. And it says whether you become a caregiver gradually or all of a sudden due to a crisis, or whether you are a caregiver, the job of caregiving, some of these feelings happen right away, and some don't surface until you have something been cut off, until you have to remember that you too are important. I want to read that again. Whether you become a caregiver gradually or all of a sudden due to a crisis, or whether you are a caregiver, the job of caregiving, some of these feelings, being emotional, happen right away, and some don't surface until you have to remember that you are important too. Here's what the problem is. Sometimes you do so much caring for the other person that you forget yourself how important you really are. It's so easy to feel like, okay, I'm used to not being treated important because I'm so used to doing this and doing that, yada, yada, yada. So it's not that much of a bad thing. My time will come around. No, somebody has got to step in to make you feel like you matter when you're kicking out and doing so much. And so that's what I want to encourage you. Your feelings, the emotional part of it, they said might not happen right away. And if it doesn't happen right away and you recognize it at a later date, please, the moment you recognize that something's happening, here's a sign, my own personal sign. The one thing that I think that can happen is you start becoming angry. You become bitter. You start becoming resentful. Like, why am I even doing this anyway? They're not listening. They keep rebelling. I'm trying to help. Everything that I say is wrong. I don't know if that's ever been y'all dealing with, this situation. Hey, Auntie. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We must lift up one another. It's not easy taking care of other people. It really isn't. And the thing is, the elderly are so set in their way because of the life that they have had, that you still try to be respectful because they are the elderly. But at the end of the day, if there's something that that's best for them, they might not necessarily want to receive it. What do? Just say, okay. Just say, okay. Just be like, okay, you know what? All right, that's fine. I don't want to upset you. I don't want to make you angry. I don't want to bother you. There was a situation with someone right now that I know went to go visit someone else. And just in a conversation, aggravated this other person. And they weren't screaming back and forth, but aggravated this other person so much that the one that this person A went to visit person B in the hospital. And person A and person B started having a discussion. And the discussion they were having was so intense that person B, their heart rate shot up to the point where the nurses came flying into the hospital room and said, "Are you okay?" And person B said, "I'm okay. I'm just having a heated discussion with person A." And the nurse had said, "Well, you need to relax. You need to be calm. Don't get into any kind of heated discussion because it's not good for you." Meaning that person B could have died right then and there. And I think sometimes we try to get, and this is me, I'm the queen of trying to get my point across when I feel something is wrong. Or if I feel like I'm being attacked, if I feel like something's being combative against me, I'm the queen of like, no, that's not right. But let me tell you why. This is what I'm trying to say. And I'm right now, my church is fasting. During this fasting season, I'm praying that God teaches me how to shut up. I'm praying God teaches me how to shut up, that I don't have an answer for everything, that I don't have to try to convince other people of what I think is right or what I said, yada, yada, yada. Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with that, it can take somebody else out of here. Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what it says about coping. If only we were perfect, we would not feel certain ways, right? The emotional side of caregiving. Allow yourself to feel both sets of feelings. That's what you have got to do. Allow yourself to feel both sets of feelings. Evie, Evie, I know you got something to say. I can see it. Yeah, Natalie, I get it. I get it. So here's what I want to, oh Lord, it's already 7:13. Here's what I want to say. Top three excuses from siblings who don't help with caregiving. Caregiving is a big responsibility. It's not easy. And I think sometimes we think, oh, I've known this person for all my life. They've been with me all my life. It's going to be easy taking care of them. I used to tell it to Dwayne, it's not going to be a problem taking care of your dad. What do you need? We got this. Let's do it. Tiff, you don't know. It's not easy. I'm like, it's going to be easy. And I said, well, I'm not going to sit back and be the reason you've put your daddy in a home, because there's no telling how they're going to treat him. I said, it's no telling. So if you want him here, bring him in. I watched my late father-in-law literally dealing with Alzheimer's, right? I watched him look Dwayne in the face. We were in the house. And remind me, guys, I'm sorry, I'm jumping for a second. I watched him. Dwayne said, "Daddy, you doing okay?" Dwayne just went into the living room. He said, "Daddy, you okay?" And Mr. Sterling looked at him like, Dwayne said, Daddy, what's wrong? And Mr. Sterling said, you know, the people that live here, they take really good care of me. Heartbreaking. Dwayne said, what? He said, yeah, and that little woman, she can cook. She can cook. And this is a really nice place. And I really like this. They take really good care of me here. And Dwayne said, Daddy, you talking about me and Tiffany? And Mr. Sterling just put his head down and said, well, if you say so. And it got quiet. And then next thing you know it, Dwayne said, Daddy, it's me, Dwayne. And Mr. Sterling said, okay, if you say so. And then I promise you guys, within maybe not even a full minute after that, Mr. Sterling looked at Dwayne and said, boy, what you doing standing there? Where's Little Bit? Tell her to get in the kitchen because I'm hungry. Just that fast. That whole Alzheimer's, that dementia, that thing is heartbreaking to watch. I've watched Dwayne literally, when we finally got Mr. Sterling to start coming to stay with us and to slowly move in, Mr. Sterling would get up with his bags in the middle of the night. I'd be knocked out in the room. Dwayne would have to sleep on the sofa because Dwayne would get up and say, Daddy, where you going? Mr. Sterling would say, I'm going home. And Dwayne would say, how you getting there? And he said, I don't know, but I'm going back to my house. I got a home, boy, and that's my house. I'm going to my home. I paid for my home. It's paid off. And Dwayne said, Daddy, you can't just get up. And my dog used to bark for every little thing. But Mr. Sterling used to, with his frail self, would shuffle to that door, and Chaco wouldn't make any noise at all. Chaco used to knock me over. Mr. Sterling was half my size, and the dog wouldn't even bother him. And Dwayne would just get up, try to block the door in. It was just a lot to hear, a lot to see, and heartbreaking. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I need y'all to call me. I need you guys to call me, 973-873-4983. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear, what do you need to know how to do to move forward, to have peace of mind. In the meantime, it says top 3 excuses from siblings who don't help with caregiving. So do you guys have siblings, or do you guys have family members that just don't want their hands on nothing? Not necessarily because of this says excuses, not necessarily the reasons of what I'm getting ready to tell you, but just because they just feel like, you know what, you've already done this, I don't need to do anything, you could just keep doing it. Auntie, the number is 973-873-4983. 973-873-4983. So have you ever been in that situation where you just have siblings that are like, you already doing this, what you need me for? What you need me to help out for? You are already doing the work. I don't want no parts of it. You ain't gonna interrupt my life. Let's just keep it real. There's family members that are genuinely like that. Okay, hold on, guys, we got a caller coming in. Hey, you're on Making Me Matter. Who's this? Hello? Uh-oh, somebody called in. Wait, let me see. Can you hear me?
Got the wire in?
Yeah, it's in. Hello?
Slide it back.
Hello?
Hey, who's this? Oh, hey, Ev. Okay, wait, I got to put you next to the speaker. No, but we couldn't get it the last time either. But it's okay. I'm going to put her by the mic. It's all right. That's all right. Ev.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, and I think everybody else could hear you. We got the phone lines ringing. Go ahead and talk real quick about what you've experienced and so forth.
God bless everybody. Good evening to you all. Let me see. On the thought process leading up to dementia, like I wrote in the comments, you know, I experienced mommy forgetting certain conversations, or the fact that she would ask me a question in the day or during the course of the day, which is more than once, and then by the evening she'd ask me the same question again. So that's 3 times the question is asked, and it's hard to have patience. You have to learn that patience. You have to learn. You have to really pray that patience, even at that time, that you can, have the ability to answer that question again and again and again. There's a thing I had looked up some time ago, a couple of months ago, on the web to, how do you deal with people leading into dementia? And there's a certain kind of behavior we have to have in order to, it's like, you feel like you're bowing down to them. Because in our mind, her being my mother, let me speak for myself, my mother being my mother, I know her to be strong-willed. I know her to be on top of her game.
Right.
So to see them decline, it's a hurtful thing. You're in such disbelief, it can aggravate the mess out of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It can really aggravate you because you see your loved one who's been so strong. Like, this is not you. Why are you acting like that? Why are you acting like you don't know? You go through that phase.
Right.
But it's a phase. And when you're willing to learn how to cope, it's a coping mechanism as well as a learning lesson, how to treat them calmly. Sometimes I laugh, and she'll laugh with me. Like, oh, girl, that there. I'll tell her, Mommy, we're not doing that thing today.
Right.
And she'll laugh.
Right.
She'll be like, okay, and come back to herself. But the clothes wearing, the putting clothes on backwards, or the incontinency, where you figure, okay, you have the pins. They depend on the pins. Really, really depend on them.
Right.
So it's no longer I can get up and go to the bathroom because I'm secure.
Right.
And that's another thing that'll make you angry. It's a whole lot of things, a lot of work. It's not even a lot of things. It's a lot of work that we must do in order to be calm within our spirit.
Right.
And it's doable. It's definitely doable. And we'll find that even though they say, why do I go to Mom as often as I can? And at the same time, take off time to just go home. I'll call her, Mom, I'm going right home. And I walk past her building from work. And sometimes my feet be wanting to go there, but I know I need that time for myself.
Right.
So you cater to them, but you don't have to cater to them always, especially when they're still in their right mind, because you want them to be independent in some areas.
Does it seem like at times, Ev, and you and I have had different conversations, does it seem like at times, do you feel like that do you think your mother sometimes feels like her independence has been taken from her, and that's why she might, sometimes it may seem like it's a little difficult, so she responds based on okay.
your auntie Mommy Phyllis is one who she's learned in these years since she had her stroke how to and since she's let go of those things that she would run to, alcohol and cigarettes, and she's learned how to manipulate. Okay, so when she was in assisted living, when she was in the nursing home, Mommy could get a cup of coffee. She shouldn't have no coffee because it messes up her bladder. She'd get a cup of coffee in a heartbeat. She would have the people at her feet. She knew how to sweet talk. She knew how to do that. So now she's in her own apartment. And I had to lead up to that to say, these things, you can't tell somebody, well, my daughter will give you the money back. But, you could go down there. We've done with the drinking during the course of the time of her being in assisted living to the point where she now has titanium in her face. Blacking out like that. And in assisted living places, there's but so much restriction. In a nursing home, you on lockdown.
Do you see people in the nursing home that don't get visitors? I used to always hear about that, about there's people in the nursing homes whose families do not come to check them out.
And you know why? I've learned why. Why? Because they can't take it no more. When about being locked in a nursing home, that I've watched the change in people, elderly, when they're in a nursing home. They're like babies all over again, and if they don't have their way, they will act all the way out. 100%. There's some family members that, though they've tried their best, everybody can't try to the bitter end. They just can't do it, especially when they don't have help from their siblings. Especially when they don't have help from their siblings. Like you said, it's very hard. But you have the tenacity and the strength of God upon you. As long as you seek ye first the kingdom of God, all these things will be added unto you.
Right.
This is included.
Right.
It's not about materialistic things. It's about your spirit and your soul being into the assignment that God has blessed you to have, to the point where you can use the fruit of the Spirit to be able to take care of your loved one. And when you need that break, God will say, step back. Step back.
Go home.
And here's my other thing that I want to ask you real quick before you go. It's okay to say that you need a break. It's okay to say that you need to step back. And I think that's why I respect what you say, because sometimes people feel guilty. People feel like, okay, well, if I stop, will that make me a bad daughter, or will that make me a bad son?
I've been there, but in that not stopping, I became what you said, angry, bitter, losing control of my mind, of what to do and how to do it for myself. I have a 14-year-old who, at the time, Mom has lived with me and everything. I've turned my whole life around. From the time, we talking from 2010. Mom's been here in New Jersey with me for 9 years. Me being the only one of 4 children. And it could be tedious. But God. Okay, let's call it good. Girl, I could go on for the whole show. Let's call it, please.
Well, I totally appreciate you. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because my phone just started ringing. Okay, if they jump on, I'll call you back. But I respect that, Ev, and you're right. Your mom has been with you for a while. I've watched you go do that, so I appreciate that. Ev, we got another call coming in. Thank you for calling.
Okay,
bye. All right, you're on Making Me Matter. Is this my auntie? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let me
I can
put
hear
the volume down on my iPad. So I can hear you. Okay, so you're up my alley. You're in my lane.
Okay.
And you're in my area of expertise. From a caregiver perspective, as well as from a person who was taken care of. So my grandmother, and I just speak truth. So if my mother hears this, it is what it is.
Okay.
My grandmother had come down with, she was having dementia, and she was with me and my husband in New Jersey when we lived in New Jersey for almost a year, and couldn't really see it clearly then. But I think it was just coming on, because I would ask questions and she said, I don't want to talk about that right now. And so some of those keys that I look back on now was because she could not remember. She wasn't remembering. Okay, so that's one. Number two, she went home, stayed for a year, and then when we were moving to Texas, she wound up going into the hospital, emergency situation. I couldn't come get her because I was in the flat in the middle of moving. I called my mother. I told her, Mom, you need to go get your mom. Their relationship, it was something there that I was unfamiliar with. And she took her, she picked her up. She didn't speak very well. I can't even say what she said. I won't say what she said. But she called me the next morning and indicated she couldn't deal with this.
Yeah.
And that was because they had some unresolved issues that weren't dealt with. And what I encourage people, if you have any unresolved issues and your loved one and you can see that they're declining, you need to get over it.
How do you get over it? How do you explain to them how to get over it when there's just some that's just dealt with so many different depths of hurt and pain that have never been resolved? So how do you tell a loved one, or how do you tell someone to get over it, because now they have to take care of this person that might not have been there for them, that might have abused them, that might have neglected them? How do you do that?
Depending on what happened, has a lot to do with whether or not people get over things.
Right.
To answer one of your comments earlier, people see people in nursing homes that don't get visitors.
Right.
I worked at King James Care Center in Edison, and we had a patient that was admitted. The family brought him in, signed the papers. When he got to his room, they turned to the social worker and the staff and said, "Don't call me unless they die." we were all bored. We didn't understand
Yeah.
what was going on. The father had molested the children.
Ah.
So because the molestation had taken place, in their mind, they were going to do whatever they could do to get him to a safe place, and then they were done. So for those of us who profess we're believers and we're Christians,
Oh, yeah.
it's the road. Because the Word of God says, Jesus says, if you don't forgive others, I will not forgive you. I'm paraphrasing it, but you know this in the Word.
Right.
I had to come to that realization in a different situation. But back to the nursing home situation. Dementia, you cannot approach a person as though they're in current reality. It will not work. It will never work.
Right.
Their memories are in long-term things. Anything that's short-term, you just have to go along with it. Don't try to correct them. Don't try to make them see they're wrong and you're right, because it's never going to work, because the short-term memory is gone or fake.
Right.
So what you have to do is talk to them in a way that you go along, but you guide. You have to go along and guide. And back to my grandmother, my mother, after 3 months, could not deal with it, and she took her to a hospital, dropped her off, and didn't tell me or my sister, and I was the one with power of attorney.
How did now that power of attorney piece? People don't understand, and you know what, Auntie, you don't even have to go into great detail, but that's a big deal. That power of attorney piece is a big deal. What took place after that? Because in all honesty, you could have probably sued your mother. Not saying that it would be right. Well, you know what I'm saying? But some people would have looked at that like you had no right because of who I am in regard to the legalities over her. Where she would probably fight and say, well, that's still my mother.
No. From her perspective.
Okay.
We don't agree, but it's her perspective, and I've had to get beyond it.
Okay.
She felt that in order to get her into a facility, her physician told her that's the simplest and quickest way to get a person into a skilled level facility. And my thing was, you should have had a conversation with me.
Right.
And then we work through that process to get her into a facility. You know?
Right.
And what people don't understand is I was executor of her will. I was her. It has to be a durable power of attorney, and I had her health care proxy. Now I created all of these documents, so so at death, power of attorney ceases. But up until death, power of attorney is good.
Right.
So I made all of her medical decisions. I handled all of the things that needed to be handled for her because I promised her.
Right.
That was my commitment to her.
Okay.
And that's another. If you're not willing to take the ride, if you can't go along and deal with it, then you need to find somebody else to do it.
You're 100% right, because sometimes people think that they can handle the responsibility of taking care of someone that they've known all their life. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, it's not easy.
Well, no, because personalities change. And my grandmother, the discord that she had with my mom had, I'm not trying to throw my mom out there.
Of course.
The discord that she had with my mom had to do, at this stage, with sundowning. It is a medical term which means when the sun starts to set, a person's personality changes. She became nervous. Then she would get confrontational.
Ah.
And it was like clockwork, like clockwork. And once I saw that, I had to share that with the staff. Now, you would think the staff would know and see it. I had to come in and actually tell them, this is what's going on, and as power of attorney, I need you to get a psychiatrist in here. I need her to be evaluated, and this is the drug that I want you to try her on.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So once all of that took place, she leveled out. But before you can even get to that point, you got to recognize that it's an issue.
Right.
It's not just them being mean or cantankerous or whatever. It is a chemical process that actually happens to the body.
Let me ask you another quick question real quick before we get ready to jump off. Does denial play a big factor in all of this? Is it denial for the caretaker along with even the staff at these homes, at these nursing homes and facilities? What part does denial actually play? Like, you know how you have the 5 stages of grief when someone dies, right? So when you're dealing with certain things like the acceptance, the denial, and the anger, and I think what acceptance, denial, anger, what are the other two? Do you know what the other two is? I can't remember. Denial, acceptance, the 5 stages of grief. And this is what I think. I personally think the 5 stages of grief are applicable to almost any situation whenever you're dealing with anything emotional. That's just my own personal belief.
That's true, because you have to realize, you have to come to a place of acceptance where you realize your parent is no longer your parent, or your spouse is no longer capable, and it's a loss. It's a dying process, and you got to go through that grieving process, and it's not easy, you know. And Brenda Harris, I see your comment. My mom was always soft-spoken person. She never turned angry or loud.
Wow.
That's because that was her base personality. Whatever your base personality is will manifest in the midst of that transitioning.
Bargaining. Pastor Eric said bargaining. That's the other one. That's right. Bargaining.
Yeah. You're right. So, but back to the whole thing. Okay, so that was one thing. I did whatever I could do. I made a commitment, and that's the key. You have to make a commitment, and you have to allow God to be your guide. And no, it's not easy. There were days where, before she went into the nursing home, when she was with my sister, my grandmother was constipated. She wasn't moving her bowels. My sister and I literally had to put on gloves and pull out hockey pucks. Okay? Wow. It's not pretty and it's not easy, but you do what you need to do to make the other person okay.
Right.
You know? And so on the flip side of, I was the one that was the caretaker when I came down with cancer, and my husband was, I was the person being cared for, and my husband was the caretaker. And I'm, trying to get my book together and get all this stuff out there. But people need to understand, caretakers need a place where they can vent as well.
Right. And that's exactly what we were talking about when we let me tell you something, Auntie. I'm so glad you said that, because before you jumped on, we literally were talking about how, I don't know if you heard. Did you get a chance to hear what I read about the importance of realizing that you are important too? The caretaker has to realize that they too are important. They can get so caught up in taking care of the other person or other people that they neglect themselves. And then when in the midst of neglecting themselves, they're thinking, it's okay because I'm doing the right thing. No, you'll have eventually a breakdown.
Not only that, Tiff, you can die.
Wow.
Because
I didn't even think about that.
Taking care of your health. No, we just experienced it in a situation. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of someone else. That's why a village, a support system is really key to surround each of us when one person is responsible for caretaking another person. So in our cancer ministry, we have a component where it's strictly for the spouses. So if we have spouses come in and they need time to talk, we will let them go to another room, and they'll have a conversation separate from our cancer support conversation, because they need to be able to articulate their feelings without feeling bad and terrible, because it is a reality. The same thing with the person who is dealing with the issue. If they're able to speak and if they're able to communicate, that person also needs to express what's on their heart or how they're feeling.
Right.
Because if you put all that stuff in, it only hurts your body physically. It adds stress, and stress kills.
Right. Stress kills. Oh, I'm so happy you called, because you definitely have a testimony about this. You know, you are a cancer survivor. Yes. For it to never return, ever. For it to never return. And I always know how you talk about your grandmother. I remember seeing the post, how you loved her. And I remember also seeing the videos and so forth, well, the pictures, and how you talked about the last time how Uncle H took good care of you. You know, and that's another thing. Y'all better make sure you marry the right person. Because when I tell you, at the end of the day, with sickness, there's nothing cute about it. There's nothing pretty. You know, you got to get your hand in the trenches, and you got to get your hands dirty. And when you love somebody, I don't care how bad the situation is, ain't enough dirt to keep you from touching them. Ain't enough dirt to keep you from helping.
Tiffany, let me say this, and I don't know how many young people out there are listening to this right now, but I got to say this.
Go ahead.
I really have to say this. All of these breast implants, these booty implants, all this lip stuff and this fake stuff and these lashes and all this stuff that people are doing to their bodies, trying to make them attractive, it's not you. And if you do happen to get sick, all of that fades away.
Say it again. That's right.
All of it away.
That's right.
I went from 160 pounds to 134 pounds, and I was skin and bones. My husband said no. He loves me. He wanted to encourage me, but I know what I saw in the mirror.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be in there where you ride or die. You hang in there and you support that person. And an illness has nothing to do with external beauty. Nothing at all.
That's true.
And if these young girls out here thinking that doing all this stuff is going to keep a man and get a man and catch a man, then they're barking up the wrong tree.
Absolutely.
That's another talk show. That's another
You know
time.
we're going to continue that, because I love talking about relationships. So you know we're going to listen. Wait till springtime comes when the seasons change.
One day and we could break it down, because
I know it.
It breaks my heart
to
see that these girls don't know who they are, to whom they should belong. And as I can call her my mentor, Donna Izzard Hicks, as she says, they don't understand how to embrace their bees.
They don't.
That they're beautiful as they are, they're brilliant as they are, they're bold as they are, and they should be business-minded. But until you understand your identity, you will never be able to function the way you're intended to function, so that you can carry out God's purpose and plans. I know I've taken up enough of your time.
I so love you. Big shout out to my auntie Charlize. She just killed it. I love you, auntie. And when we get that relationship conversation, I need you to be on. We're going to be talking about that.
Love you too, babe.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Y'all heard exactly what she said. And so in regard to how we need to go ahead and care for other people, don't forget yourself. And don't get so caught up. Yeah, she killed it. Don't get so caught up in what other people's relationships are. I love what she said. Her own mother had a different relationship with her grandmother, and she did not stop that from allowing her to be who she needed to be, to care for her grandmother. It's not easy. When you know that there's other family members that have strife with other ones, it's not easy to sit back and just say, I'm going to take care of them, knowing that this person hurt this other person, or yada, yada, yada. So here's another thing. Big shout out to Dr. Shade. Hey, Dr. Shade. Dr. Claire Shade is on. Oh, I love her to the core. Love her, love her, love her. So here's another thing. The 7 deadly emotions of caregiving. How to cope. Okay, caregiver emotion trap. It's listed as trap. Caregiver emotion trap number 1, guilt. Caregiver emotion trap number 2 is resentment. Caregiver emotion trap number 3. Sorry, y'all. I got to get those headphones off. Caregiver emotion trap number 3 is anger. Caregiver emotion trap number 4 is worry. Caregiver emotion trap number 5 is loneliness. Caregiver emotion trap number 6 is grief. And number 7 is defensiveness. You guys, I'm going to tell you something. Listen to this. Guilt is virtually unavoidable as you try to do it all. You cannot do it all. I had to learn I cannot do it all. Dwayne had to learn he could not do it all. But unfortunately, I think when my husband realized he couldn't do it all, I'm going to be honest with you, it was too late. It was too late. Dwayne, I'll never forget it. I woke up 4 o'clock in the morning because Dwayne wasn't in the bed. And I figured he had like a little argument with his father. And so I went in the living room. And I went ahead and went to the living room and grabbed some pillows. And I laid on the floor. And Dwayne was laying on the sofa. And for those who are just jumping on, Dwayne was my late husband. DJ Preem, I see you. So I'm laying on the floor with my pillows. And Dwayne was laying on the sofa. And he didn't even turn around. He just said, Tiff. And I said, yeah. He said, I'm tired. He said, I'm tired. And I said, I know you are, but don't worry. God's got it. It's all going to work out. Everything will be just fine. And I said, Dwayne, let's go back in the bed. And at least there's morning. Everything will change. Well, y'all, that night, before I went out into the living room, Dwayne and his dad, Dwayne was trying to prevent his dad from walking out the house. And he literally was just exhausted. And so we went to sleep. I got up at 6 to get ready to go to work. Dwayne finally came. Like I told you, 4 o'clock in the morning I went in there. Dwayne finally came in the bed around 4 something. We went to sleep. And 6 o'clock I got up to go to work. And I got in the shower, got dressed. Hey, PT. And after getting dressed, on my way out, Mr. Sterling was in the back room sleeping. And I looked at Dwayne while he was sleeping. I said, okay, I love you. I'll talk to you later. And I kissed his forehead. He said, I love you too. And I left. And Dwayne died that day. According to the medical examiners, he died that morning. So I say this to say, his last words prior to us getting back in the bedroom was, Tiff, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'll never forget that as long as I live. I'm tired. And I said, don't worry, Dwayne. Everything will be okay. Everything. Oh, it's okay, Preem. You could listen. If you can't, we'll talk behind the scenes. And I said, everything will be okay. And I left to go to work. Couldn't reach him all day. And one of my friends, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I got a pretty good relationship with God. I love the Lord. And one of my girlfriends, I called her because I said, I haven't heard from Dwayne all day. And I said, I need you to pray for me. She said, he's probably sleeping or something. I said, girl, no. I said, the Holy Ghost is preparing me because there's somebody dead in my house. I don't know if it's Dwayne or my father-in-law, but I just need you to pray. She said, Tiffany, oh my gosh, don't say that. I said, I'm telling you what I feel. I'm being prepared for it. I don't know what I'm getting ready to walk into. And lo and behold, I was right. I was right. And it wasn't that I was right. The Spirit of God prepared me. And the funny thing is, none of us could take this caretaking thing for granted. You don't know what's the stresses of the world, along with caretaking, along with health, can literally take any of us out of here, man. And the thing is, it can happen at any given time. One moment you're eating fine, next thing you know it, the person has a heart attack. How does that happen? Because of stress. Because of stress, man. And it can hit you at any given time. If you are a caretaker right now, I don't care if you're taking care of someone who's disabled. I don't care if you're taking care of someone who's elderly. I don't care if you're taking care of just someone just on GP just because you're used to taking care of them. Do something for yourself before you kill yourself. That's all. Oops. That's all I'm trying to say. Do something for yourself before you kill yourself. Because I'm going to tell you the truth about something. If we don't, something that one of my best friends, he's on here, PT, who I promise you, I love him to the core. He always tells me, man, you got to do stuff for you. You got to do stuff for you. I'm like, PT, I'm not feeling good. Yeah, why? And at the end of the day, y'all, I'm not trying to be funny. You get sometimes with life and then unexpected circumstances, this stuff puts you in a position where it's like, what more can I take? My prayer is that God continues, like I have in my book, that chapter, the grace to keep going. My prayer is that God gives you the grace to keep going, that he gives you the strength to say, you know what, this might be hard as all, you know what, but at the end of the day, in the midst of me doing this, I will balance. I will have balance. Preem, are you still on here? DJ Preem, are you still on here? Because here's what, you know what, I told you I love ice cream. Part of balance for me is going out and getting me some ice cream. Something simple. I'm not one of those that you have to like please with all of this and that. No. I will be the first to say, you know what? Okay, I had a crazy day. I'm going to go get some ice cream. Or I had a crazy day. Let me call up my peoples. Where's my peoples at? Where's my people's Sniper? Let me call Sniper. We going to go out to eat. We gonna grab. I'll say, Sniper, you in the mood to go to eat? You go out to eat. We going to your favorite spot? Yep. Okay, so we go. And so I say this to say, everybody needs an outlet. I don't care how good, I don't care how great, I don't care how bad, I don't care if it's the worst of the worst. Find time to make sure that you have an outlet to take care of yourself. Dr. Shade, if you are available next week, I would love for you to join me because I would like to do a part 2 with this on self-care. Actually, next week is not good. Next week is not good because we have my buddy Eugene Napoleon coming in inside the Jersey. Let's talk behind the scenes, Dr. Shade. I need to have you come in because I think that we really need to continue the importance of self-care and the emotional part of it and how to be healthy when you care for everybody else. How to go ahead and make sure that your temple is in good standing, that your temple is being cared for. Because here's the thing, you could pour yourself out and empty yourself out for every little thing and next thing you know it, as much as you're doing that and nobody's imparting anything into you, let me tell you something, depression will sink in. Loneliness can sink in, anger can sink in, and here's the thing, the enemy will start playing on your mind where it's like, dang, nobody cares enough to check on me, nobody cares enough to see how I'm doing, nobody cares enough to go ahead and say, you know what, let me go ahead and do something for this person, for him or her, because they've done so much, or let me go ahead and try to see what I could do for the whole house and the family, because at the end of the day, we see them running around. We see them trying. They're doing their very best. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Dr. Shade, I need you on here. Reese says we don't reach out when we need help. Counseling helps. I'm all for counseling. Reese, when I tell you, Dr. Shade, I'm going to be honest with y'all. When my late husband died, let me tell you something. And then on top of that, when my husband died, let me tell y'all something. On top of him passing away, I was very close with his father. I told y'all in the beginning, I would call his dad Big Daddy, and Big Daddy would call me Little Bit. And when I tell you, the father died 3 months later, I knew he wasn't going to live when Dwayne died. I knew he was not going to live. And sometimes that's what love does. You guys see it happen with old people all the time. When the wife dies, the husband won't last that much longer. I'm not trying to be funny. We see that with George and Barbara Bush. When Barbara Bush died, I said to somebody, he ain't going to last that much longer. because that's something about love, that connection. When you see somebody hurting, when Dwayne died, I'm gonna be honest with you. Not only did I think the stress took him out, he had a heart attack. Not only did the stress take him out, I don't believe his health, because he was doing all this stuff, taking care of his dad. He neglected himself. He neglected taking care of himself. But then not only that, I think also to see his father in the condition that he was in. Sometimes we so busy like, okay, you know what? It's the stress of doing this. That was still his father. So watching a parent or watching an elderly, watching someone you care for just deteriorate. Did I say it right? Deteriorate. It's not easy. That can subconsciously be an emotional and damaging thing to yourself if you don't deal with it. I'm big on counseling. Speaking of counseling, we're getting ready to sign off. We have Dr. Carla Cook getting ready to come on with her show on being well. Dr. Carla Cook is going to be on, and she's incredible. She's an amazing person. Everybody who's on, if you get a chance, make sure you stay tuned to the 8 Squad Rebel radio show page and watch Dr. Carla Cook. She's great. Oh, Angie, when I tell you, Angie, I am a daddy's girl so much it's sick. Charlize will tell you. Charlize has known me for over 30 years. I am a daddy's girl to the core. And I have a 21-year-old sister. And even in the midst of me having a sister, you best believe I am a daddy's girl all day. And so I think about these things like, my parents are what, 64, 65? My mom's going to be, I think, 67. Dang. Oh, is she going to be 68? I don't even know. Yeah, Lori, I know you are. And you know what? Yes, Uncle H, you know, I am Carlton's look. You know, I know that I got my sister. You know, I'm not going to try to discredit my sister. Wouldn't do that. But you best believe I'm a daddy's girl. And when I tell you, I think about how my parents are getting older, but in my mind, they ain't getting older like that. You know why they're not getting older like that? Because something about me sees them for how they've been with me growing up. So I think sometimes I'm in my own level of denial, like, my parents ain't really aging. You know what I'm saying? They're not really getting that old. They are not getting old. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's 7:57. I really want to give y'all a hand clap for hanging in there and rocking out with your girl on the Making Me Matter radio show. I thank you guys so much. And for all the caretakers, caregivers, those who have taken care of somebody, my people's just called Comedian Issues. Punky, I couldn't answer because right now we're getting ready to shift into another segment for On Being Well with Dr. Carla Cook. But I want you guys to give yourself a hand. I want you to give yourself a hand. Matter of fact, real quick, you guys like this New York Cup? Look. If you guys like this New York Cup, you got 2 seconds to give me a call. You got 2 seconds to go ahead and give me a call. If you can, go ahead and give me a call. Let's go ahead, and I want to go ahead and give away this mug. I want to go ahead. I have another item. I have a wallet. If you would like it, go ahead and give your girl a call. I have a wallet and I like this mug. I should stick y'all for it and keep it for myself. But I'm not going to do that. If you guys like this mug, by all means, give me a call. Angie, I'll go ahead and get your wallet to you on Sunday at church. And I have another one. If you are interested and you want this, go ahead, holler at your girl. Hold on 1 second, guys. We're going to make this quick. Because we got the next show coming on Being Well with Dr. Carla Cook. Punky, why you blowing up the phone? You know I get off the air at 8 o'clock.
Why y'all not answering? That's the real question.
Because it's 7:50. It was 7:57, and I just said on the Facebook Live that I was going to call you back. I said, Punky, I'm going to call you back. Auntie, which one did you want? Did you want the mug, Auntie, or you want the wallet?
I'm trying to get my. See that? I called before. Oh, you cheat.
Punky, because we're getting ready to go off the air. But we're doing a part 2.
I'm trying to get my prize, man.
Man, all you gotta do is give it away like you did the last one.
Okay, Ed. I'm a philanthropist. Look
Yes,
at
you are. Wait, Dr. Carla Cook is here, Punky. Gotta go.
Peace.
Where are you?
I'm at home. Call
Okay.
me back.
You got 2 seconds. Dr. Carla Cook about to walk in. What you about to say? Go.
Nothing. I just want you to donate the wallet to somebody who needs it. That's all.
You see what he was going to do? See, this is why he's comedian issues. He always starting some issues with Tiffany. You see, I said, Punky. He said, I'm calling for the giveaway. I said, no, you're not, because the last time you called in, you gave it away.
And I'm going to get this one away. Get a wallet to somebody who needs it. Y'all keep supporting my homegirl, making me matter. Peace.
I love you, Punky. I might need you to do the voiceover for my commercial for introducing the show. Because I just love you to pieces. Come on in, Dr. Cook. Y'all make sure you stay tuned. Love you, Punky. Talk to you later.
All right.
That's
Bye.
that right there. Let me tell y'all about that one. Comedian Issues is my heart. He is my heart. All right, y'all. I am out of here. I am out. Y'all have a good night. I will see y'all next week. Evie, let me see. Jeanette, good to see you. Jeanette Carpenter, good to see you on here. Okay. Auntie said that she wanted the wallet first, so Evie, catch you on the rebound. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Look, Dr. Carla over here looking like, what you giving away? All right, y'all. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Only on
8 Squad Rebel Radio.